and we'll start straightforward. All right, let's start now. Okay, so thank you all for joining this workshop. So today we are going to talk about the augmented reality with Spark AR. So I think some of you might not have experience with Spark AR. So today I'm just going to walk you through on what is Spark or what is AR. Augmented reality, and also the platform that we're using that is called a Spark AR from Facebook. Although this is a Microsoft event. And but today we are just going to list some help from Facebook to use their platform for our first AR augmented reality development. Okay, so let me just talk to you about some schedule for today. Oops, oops. Let me just do it here. So yeah, so today's schedule is basically we talk about augmented reality, but basically we divide this into five parts. Okay, so the last part is the most important part. That is we are going to show. I'm going to show you the project demo on two projects. Okay, so first of all, we will have some introduction on augmented reality, and that's I mean some of you might not have experience with that, so I would like to make sure everyone are on the same page. So I will just give a very brief introduction on what is AR, and then so talking about definition is not enough, so I would like to give you some of the real life example. That is some technology company or even some government unit applying AR in real life. Okay, so hopefully, I think this hackathon themed as the the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goal with the quality education, right? So maybe we will start discussing some opportunities that we can bring into our education. And of course, we will try. I will try to say something on Spark AR, the development platform that we are going to use. Today's project is just two of them. So one is the facial tracking project, and the other one is the plane tracking project. And for the hackathon, I think this is not limited to this two field, and possibly you can use some other tracking technology or some other templates for for your presentation. All right, but before we start, I just want to give you some information about myself. So my name is Chris. In case you don't know, I'm a STEM instructor in Kobo Academy, and today I'm just going to give you a talk on what is augmented reality and some showcase on the project. All right, so I just want to talk. So as well as the my job here, I'm also a Microsoft global training partner. So that's why Microsoft find me and give you a talk on Spark AR. Okay, and also I'm a TensorFlow development certified. Okay, so that is something related to AI. So you will still see me. I have my AI 900 certification on here. Okay, so if you try to find, if you have any questions regarding to the AI, or if this is not quite relevant to today's topic, that you can just send me an email later on. All right. All right. So I think some of you will won't have any ideas on what is augmented reality. Okay, so let me just give you a very brief introduction on what's that. Okay, so that's a quite precise definition from, oops, okay, I think it's not that good. So there's a precise definition from Investopedia. So that is talking about what is augmented in reality in general. Okay, so it says that augmented reality (AR) is an enhanced version of the real physical world that is achieved through the use of digital visual elements, sound, or other sensory stimuli. Okay, so we deliver that via technology. Okay, so basically, every phone, every tablet nowadays, they can run AR apps seamlessly. So including Android and iOS. Okay, so I think from my memory, so iOS would have a better integration with the AR that they are currently have, because I think the newest iPad, they all got something we call a LiDAR sensor, and they just do it very seamlessly and putting it in very good use, like the games, or even doing something like in business. Okay, so they're doing that very great. So if you go on the Apple websites, then you will see all of their products. They all have an AR 3D models that can allows you to put in the real home settings and see how it fits with your home environment. Okay, this is just an example, but rather than just give you a definition on that, I would like to show you some of the application of AR in the first place. All right, so the first one is regarding the arts and culture from HKMOA. So this is a HKMOA is the Hong Kong Museum of Arts. Okay, they have created. I think it's quite proximate because they just initiated this project very in a very short period of time. So it's called Art for Everyone. So it's an AR experience app with using your phone camera pointing towards some of the artwork that is nearby you, and hopefully you might see some or inside the MTR station or shopping mall. And so in case you see some of those, if you try to download the app, the Art for Everyone, and then use the AR experience on that, you will see something very interesting. Okay, but instead of just talking about that, I would like to show you in action. All right, so let's wait. So right now, you should be able to see my phone screen. All right, so this is the app from HKMOA. All right, so now you can see there's some artwork allows you to play with them. So let's say I'm going to choose the first one with a woman, with a traditional Chinese woman. It's called a Chinese lady. Okay, so on the bottom here, you will see something recorded, something that it seems like we play around this with the AR technology. So here, I just tap on that. So, okay, so it shows me need to activate the camera. So I already activated. Okay, so now you can see on my screen. I think you can see on my screen. Wait, all right. Oops. All right, so let me just do that again. I think there's a bit laggy. All right, let me show that again. All right, sounds like it doesn't work because of my AirPlay, but never mind. I think I can show you a demo later on. All right, because seems like, oh, it works now. Right. All right. So now if I open up, all right. So now you can see, okay, so this is my iPad. So actually you can see an AR artwork on the screen. So let me just fire it up again. All right. So you will see the Chinese lady, okay, actually in the artwork is traveling with the MTR. All right. So you'll see it moving with her hands and grabbing the, yeah, and see she is traveling. All right. So actually you can take pictures as well. So let's say you want to take a picture and then you can save that to the album. So this is just one example of using the artwork, okay, using the AR in the arts and culture. So this is quite impressive to me because when I first traveled to HKMOA, it shows a very good experience to me, and I was just wow, this is so cool. I have to mark it down for my teaching later on. Okay, so this is just one of them. All right. So besides of arts and culture, okay, so there's actually Google use AR as well. So they use it in the Google search with iPhone and Android phone. So for every one of you, you can try to search hedgehog in Google with your phone. But that I think that will necessarily lead you to use a Google app. Okay, the official app from Google, download from the Play Store or the App Store. Okay, so if you try to use that and search hedgehog, you probably see they will show you the option to enable it in 3D. Okay, so now if you try to put it in space, then just like this, okay, just like the GIF on my right hand side, you will see actually the hedgehog just show up in your home environment, sitting on desk and try to move with have some motion on that. And actually you can just look around with the camera moving around and see each side of that hedgehog. All right. All right. So now let's talk about some of the opportunities that can bring to education, because most likely, I think most of you will have an objective on bringing quality education with your teleological work. And so this is just some of my thoughts, okay, but it's not necessarily true, but you can take it as a reference, okay? So for me, I would say bringing AR into education, they are simply more engaging to students because it simply motivates the students to self-learn at home. Okay, so during the pandemic, I think most of us, most of the families, they do buy a lot of electronic gadgets to for the students to learn at home. All right, so this is also a chance to make students to start getting used to self-learning while they are not at school. And this is quite, I mean, this is quite more accessible for those people or for those students that are living from a limited learning environment. So most likely they will just have phones, they will just have tablets. They won't even, I mean, they don't have any very high-end electronic gadgets. So it makes a lot more easy to have them access to those AR material if we try to build them. All right. So I think this lower the barrier of the knowledge gap between the between the more accessible limited learning environment or the not so limited learning environment. All right. So last but not least, I think the animated visuals do give a better stimulus for learners to memorize because so a lot of research has shown that the visuals are usually better than using words. Okay, so visuals they stimulate your learning, they stimulate your brain to memorize stuff easily, and of course the visuals do help you to easily grasp the abstract concepts like when you talk about some of the biological concepts like cell. So imagine you talk about you have seen cell in textbook, right? So how about you see cell, you can see a cell in AR. So that's a different story, right? Because you can just jump inside and see how the cell works, or maybe you can see how the energy is generated throughout the cell. So this is, I mean, this is very breakthrough for bringing animated visuals to the phone and also the tablets. So this is just free ideas as you think of that we can bring AR into education. But of course, you can have your own opinion on how to bring them into your projects. So this is a lot limited to this three of them, but I think you can, some of you might have some idea on how to bring that into real life. All right. So yeah, so I think enough talking about some of the background using AR. And hopefully, I just want to show you guys some the platform that we are going to use. So that is called the Spark AR. Okay, so this is actually a AR development platform from Facebook, and they are now Meta, of course. Just want to get an update for all of you. Okay, so this allows creators and developers to create visuals, or maybe some of the like 3D models or AR mask filters that are deployable on Instagram. Okay, so basically, if you have an Instagram account, I assume most of you have. Okay, but if you don't, that you are going to need one that is on Facebook or either Instagram. Okay, you will have a Facebook or an Instagram account in case you are going to choose Spark AR as a development as your project platform. All right, so actually you can just do Spark AR with the following things. Okay, so like the 3D objects, like you do it with the one that I show you in the Google search. So you can actually place a 3D objects in the AR environment and then just demonstrate using your camera. All right. And also, speaking of Instagram, I assume most of you have seen this before. This is called that someone is trying to wear a virtual mask on their faces. Okay, so this technology is called face tracking. It's called face tracking. So they used to track your face with your camera, and they create a face mesh on your face and try to put the painting or even the objects on your face. So this is this is very fantastic because I just use them a lot. And today we are going to create one, and then I will just show you later on. All right. So the other two, so I would like to talk about this two a bit more. So plane tracking and photo tracking. So these two are different. These two are different. Okay. So the plane tracking is show as how the camera find a plane inside a photo. Okay. So the photo tracking is to find a specific image inside a photo. Okay, so these two are different. So don't try to messing up two of them because these two can do, they do things very differently. All right. So now, last but not least, there's our motion tracking and also hand tracking. So basically, motion tracking is try to recognize your movements with your hands and body, and hand tracking is just tracking. Just find your hands and see how they move. Okay, so this is hand tracking. All right. So basically, there's a lot. I think there's a lot you can do with Spark AR. So this is just something that I can figure out that we can do in Spark AR. Maybe some of the creators they've recognized another ways to do things in a much advanced way, but these are just things that we can do within Spark AR. So yeah. So let's jump to the next part. So I want to show you some project that I just created. All right, so to show you, I will have to share my phone screen. All right, so let me just do it here. So today the first project is going to be a facial tracking project, and I'm going to show you right now. So let me just share it on my screen. So I hope everyone can see my screen now. So now you can see, actually you can see something acting on my screen. So I think some of you have played Minecraft. So this is just a demo on how we do putting some TNT that seems like it's coming out from my mouth. And then there's a tattoo on my right hand side of my face. And also you will see, actually there's a 3D text up on my head. Okay, so three things that we are going to do. So the TNT blowing from my mouth, the tattoo, and also the text up on my head. All right. Okay, so let me just going back here. So let me show you another one, but let's wait for me. All right, so maybe I will have to, yeah. So I think everyone can see my screen there, but let me just show you one more thing. All right. Oops, not this one. All right. So now, if you can see my screen, there's actually a cat picture, right? So now I'm going to fire up on my. Let me just share my screen first. So now if you see the cat on the paper, so actually this is a paper. So you will see it's a GIF. Okay, so if we recognize, it will just show an animation. Okay. So basically, we are going to do this two projects today. All right, so let me just stop mirroring. So, right. So let me just, so for those of you who don't have Spark AR Studio installed, so don't worry, I will have all the additional information that will attach to this white presentation at the end of the workshop. All right, so let me just fire up the Spark AR. So if you're going to develop AR project, you're going to lead this one. All right, so let's create a blank project. So let's start with the facial recognition. Okay, I'm sorry, the facial project. That is a face tattoo on my right-hand side. All right, so now you will have your project on my screen. So I think everyone can see my screen right now. So I'm just going to blow up, okay? Bring it up here. All right. All right. Okay, sounds good. All right, so to create a face tattoo, I think some of you might have experience using Photoshop, but this is a paid software. So I would recommend you to use Pixlr E for making a tattoo image. Okay, so first of all, to create a tattoo image, so so later on I will give you a project template like assets that allows you to create those tattoo on the screen here. All right. So to create a tattoo, you will need a face mask over here. Okay. You will need to. I mean, this sounds horrible, but we were going to use this to make sure we put the tattoo in the right place. Okay. So I'm going to open this up. All right. I'm going to open this up, and then now for me, I would just want to add my let me just go here. Let me just go here. This is my Spark AI assets, face mask, and there should be a clip art of Minecraft showing up here. So this is a PNG file. So this is a PNG file, which means they have a transparent background. So most likely you will need to use a image with a colorless background. So that will be easier for you to manage. Okay, so now I just drag and drop it to here. And we'll ask, okay, whether you want to create a new image or you want to add it to the current document. So I would choose to add current because I want the image to stay on my face. I'm going to do this here. And then now I'm just going to shrink, make it small to a shape, the size that could fit on my face here. So maybe I can just make it small like this. All right. All right. So remember the face background is going to allow us to adjust whether it fits to the face for this tattoo. All right. So now what I can do, I would like to make some distortion because the human face is curved, right? So I would like to make sure it fits on the face. So now I would choose this one, and then let's go to edit. There's something we call a free distort. Okay, free distort. I'm going to do this by bending this, try to make it looks like it's bent towards the outside of the face, just like this. All right, maybe you can try to do this. So it's like Photoshop, but actually it's not. All right, so now I can apply the distortion. So you will see it stick on the face just like that with my demo showcase here. Okay, so now I'm going to hide this layer. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to export the full image. So I'm going to quick export image as PNG. And now I'm going to put this inside my project assets. That is called the Spark AR assets inside the face mask. I'm going to save it here. Okay, so make sure it's a PNG. All right, so I'm going to save it here. All right, so maybe we can do a better naming here. So I'm going to do a better naming. So it's a tattoo.png. All right, so now let's go back to the Spark AR here. Let's go back to Spark AR here. All right, so here we are going to make a face tracker for this project. So to add an object, so this is where you can see your project is going to look like. So you will see a live view here. So let me just bring it up here. So it's bigger now. Okay. So now what you can do is adding an object. Okay, so there's a tons of tracker you can choose from, but today I'm going to use a face tracker. Face tracker. All right. So you'll see there's a face tracker 0 opening up over here, opening up over here. So now what I'm going to do is I like to add a face mesh that can model your face. Okay, face mesh. So it should be here. So I'm going to insert a face mesh over here. And you will see a grid covering the whole face. Okay, so don't worry about that. We will replace this mesh with some image. Okay, so to add the image, then we will probably need something we call a texture. Sorry, a material. So now I will go to add assets, and then I will choose import from computer. Then I'm going to here, desktop, Spark AR assets. I'm going to choose a tattoo over here. Okay. Okay, it's a texture. Okay. And then now I'm going to add one more thing that is a material. So let's say this is a tattoo material. All right. So now what I can do here, I will choose my tattoo texture to see what happened. Oops, seems like I will have to remove that and choose a file again. Okay. All right. All right, so here I would like to add a material, just tattoo material. So now you will see the tattoo just show up on his face. But actually it's not his face, it's actually on the face mesh, the face detection layer, okay? Great, so now what we can do next, so we already finished the tattoo over here. So what we can do next is to add a text up above the head, okay? So now let's go on and add object, and I will choose 3D text. Okay, I'm going to insert. Okay, so now you will recognize the text doesn't move with the head, right? So what I'm going to do, you will see 3D text over here. I'm going to bring it inside the face tracker. Okay, so now it moves along with the head. Okay, so actually what you can do is you can just simply adjust the position using the arrow here. All right, so now you will see it goes up. Or if you don't want that to be, if you want that to be a more centered, you can change the X and Y. So here, X and Y, you can try it, okay? Okay, so let's just 0.1. So here, if you choose negative, it goes to the left-hand side of the face. So I would choose negative 0.1. 04, 05 maybe. Okay, that's cool. Okay, that's a much more center. So yeah, very good, pretty good. And now what you can do is actually change the text here. So let's say I'm going to, let's say this is Kobo, right? Or welcome. All right. So you will see it shows up over here. So maybe I would just make some adjustment here. All right, just like that. All right. So talking about changing the color of the text. So one thing that you can do is you add another material. Okay, so this is material 0. We see that, and I'm going to change this color to blue. So let's say, so you will see actually if you change the color of the material, because if you take a good look here in the 3D text, you'll see the front side black material, they are all belongs to material 0, right? So if you want to make another color, so all you need to do is go to material 0 over here and change the color to a different one. Okay, so now you can change the color. All right, cool. So now the last thing for the facial project. So we are going to do something we call a particle system. Okay, a particle system. So I'm going to insert this into our face tracker. So same as last time we do with the 3D text. I'm going to bring it up, put it inside the face tracker. So now it shows. Okay, it shows here. All right. So for this time, so I'm going to put a TNT for the particles that is coming out from the mouth. Actually, it's a nose here, but let me just bring it up here. Okay, or maybe I should just bring it down a bit. All right. Oops. All right. All right. All right. So now to add a material, you can simply go to the right-hand side here, scroll it down, and you'll see materials. And I click the add here. I will create a new material, right? So this is called material 1. So instead of material 1, I would just rename this as a let's say TNT material. All right, so now the texture, I'm going to choose the TNT PNG over here. And now you will see all the particles, it just shows up and becomes TNT. All right. All right, so basically this is all for the facial tracking project, right? So all you need to do is just save it, and let's just save it to the desktop. And I'm going to save this as Minecraft maybe. Minecraft tattoo. I'm going to save this here, over here. All right, so now if you go back to your desktop, it will show something we call a Minecraft tattoo. It's a file, okay? So inside this is the AR project file. So every time you will have to, if you want to open it up, you will need this one to open that up. All right. Okay, now, great. So we already finished one. Okay, so now the next thing is going to be our photo tracking project. So now I'm just going to create another blank project. And instead of using a face tracking, I'm going to use a target tracker. So this will, so you can just read the instruction over here, but basically in short, it allows the camera to detect a specific image that will allow you to do some animation on the top of it. Okay, so I'm going to attach this. All right, put this inside. So now you will see the target tracker is below of the devices. All right. So all you need to do, I'm going to move it here. All right. I'm going to put it here. All right. So inside the target tracker, so we would like to choose the image that we are going to use. But of course, what we get here, so let me show you what we have here. So what we have here is actually, is that photo tracking here? So it's actually a GIF, all right? So what we can do is we have to cut the GIF into pieces, okay, into frames. Okay, take the GIF into frames. Then we probably relies on some internet guard here. So we will use a website called EasyGIF. So this will allow me to make a GIF turn into frames, just like the folder inside here. All right. So what we can do here, I will go on here, use the split here, split. And I'm going to choose the one that I have just downloaded from here. That's a 200 GIF here. I'll just open that up and upload. So now your GIF shows up here, and I will just make sure it's output to PNG formats. Okay, the split options here, output images in PNG formats, and then split to frames. Split to frames. And all you can get is a set of image that they are in sequence, and I just download them frames as a zip file, and I will just store it in the place that I will recognize where they are. It's not .zip. I will just let's say this is a cat. I'm safe. Cats.zip. All right, so now you can just unzip it. And what you can see is actually a bunch of images that are in frames. All right. All right, so now let's go back to the Spark AR here. And what we need to do, first of all, to create an animation. So it's like the old school animation you have seen from the TV show. So actually we have to create a texture. Okay, create a texture. So inside texture, I'm sorry, it should be import texture animation. Import that. And they will allow you to choose a GIF file. I will choose the one that I have used with 200 GIF here, okay? And you can try the option here, but I will stay with the default one over here. Oops, okay, great, sounds cool. Great, so now what I need to do, I will just put it over here to make sure the animation is over here. All right. All right. So you will see playing 0 here. Okay. So instead of playing 0, I'm going to put it inside the target tracker. Okay. So now you will see it's moving along with the target tracker. All right. But make sure, so you will have to make the target tracker or make the animation on top, okay, in front of the grid lines here, okay? So later on, we will start trying to change the image here to make that recognize the image, okay? So yeah, great. So now what I'm going to do, I will adjust the size of my playing 0. Okay, I'm going to adjust the size here. I'm going to make it 2 here, 2 here. Let's see if that's working. Okay, seems like it doesn't work very well. Maybe I would just make a 3. All right. Okay, sounds cool. All right. So now for the target tracker, so we will have to use the first picture of the frame as the as our tracking image, the target image. Okay, I will just choose. So inside the cats folder that I just unzip it, I'm going to use the first one. Okay, I'm going to use the first one. See, okay, let's use the 0 here, frame 0, 0. Okay, I'm going to use this one. All right. So now what you can see is just stays seamlessly. All right, with that one. So let me just. So you will see actually the frames are on top. They're on top of the tracker. Okay, the plane here on top of the tracker. Okay, so this is a plane here. Plane here is on top of the tracker. You can see it just sits on top of the image. So it will recognize the first image and then it will find the correct one for recognizing it. Okay, so you can so now let's talk about the testing. Okay, so if you want to do the testing, you can just go on the left hand side here. There's something we call test on device. Test on device. Go on here, and it will ask you to select an experience, right? So you can just go on here, choose an experience. So for me, I will going to add an experience, and it's a sharing experience, insert. So it allows you to use Instagram or Facebook as the platform that you are going to test. Okay, so for me, I'm going to use Instagram for testing. So click send. It will compile the files, and then later on you will receive a notification in Instagram that allows you to test inside the camera, the Instagram camera. Okay, so we'll take some time. We'll take some time here. All right. So usually first, if your AR filter is the first time you are trying to deploy on Instagram, probably that would take you at least 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, but if you are just updating the project, then possibly I think will last within 1 minute. Okay. Or the alternate way to do a faster testing is to install a Spark AR player. Okay. So actually I got one. But all you need is to connect your phone. Okay. So you can just go to your phone and launch the Spark AR player, and then just send it to the phone. Click the send here. All right, click the send here. So shortly it will appear. So let me share my phone screen here. So actually, you will see. All right, so let's wait for that to finish. Oh, seems like it does. Okay, so now it does. So you will see it works like what it's supposed to. Okay, it recognized. So if you take it off, so try to take it off. So try to take it off and put it back again. It recognizes image and just do the work very perfectly. All right, great. All right, so now that's all for the project demo. So yeah, let me just go back to my PowerPoint. All right. So let me just do a quick wrap up here. So today I just talked about what is AR in general and some of the application in real life project like the HTML one and also the Google search one. So basically you can try out different AR. So basically these are the two most impressive one to me in real life. Okay, so I think some of you have played Pokemon Go, so that's a very good example for you to refer to. And the next thing that we have talked about is how it benefits to the current education here. And possibly I think they do a very good job in stimulating students to memorize and also to learn how to learn abstract concepts. All right. So this is very important because if you are going to make your students to learn effectively and efficiently, then something that help them to memorize and also hands-on would be very cool. All right, and the last part we just did is the Spark AR project. So basically, we covered two of them. There's one of them is a face mask tracking, the facial mask tracking, and the other one is the target tracking. Okay, so basically, the target tracking one is to set a 2D image and then show a animation sequence on the screen. Basically, it's an animation. So just like the one that we did with the HKMOA artwork. So it shows a Chinese lady that is moving inside the artwork. But of course, that is okay. I think this is okay. But in case you want to know more, feel free to go to Spark AR websites for more details. Okay. So like what I said before, so that's actually some additional information for you. Okay, so guys, you can simply go to this link. Let me send it out on the chat room. Send it out on the chat room. So you can go to this link. So you can go to this link and go search for, go to my Sway information sheets to find all the available information that will help you to develop your own project in Spark AR. Okay, so it's not a must for you to choose Spark AR as your development platform, but this is just a reference for you to get started for your AR development. All right. Okay, so I think we already there. We use up like 50 minutes. So I will leave here until 6 o'clock. So if anyone has a questions, feel free to type it down in the chat room and I will just answer you straight away. All right. So if you don't have any questions, then I will see you guys soon. All right. And thank you everyone for coming. I will see you guys very soon.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.